Today we are going to replace this pulley on a lift box on a Hobart M802 mixer. Tools you are going to need: a set of Allen wrenches, snap ring pliers, a 1/2 inch wrench, I have mine here on an impact, a roll pin punch, about 1/8 inch, channel locks, needle nose pliers, and a hammer. I'm going to start by taking this cotter pin out. And removing the linkage pin for the clutch arm. Then we're going to remove this bridge here with the 4 1/2 inch bolts here, here, and on the other arm here as well. Once you have those 4 bolts out, you can take this entire assembly off. Be careful that these bearing brackets do not fall out and get lost. They come right out. And the channel should be facing down for reassembly as well, not up. They should be facing down. Next, we're going to take our clutch apart. There are 3 flathead screws on here. Do not touch those. We are only going to take out the 1/2 inch bolts. Take a Sharpie or a pen and just make a mark on the clutch, the top end of the clutch and the bottom end for reassembly, just so those line back up. Now that those 6 bolts are loose, we're going to take them out. And the clutch picks straight up. Straight up. Be careful, inside here is fiber discs. Next, on top of this inner clutch gear is a snap ring. We're going to take that snap ring off. Remove this keyway, don't lose that. Now we're going to take the timing belt off. You're just going to spin this clutch and work it up with your thumbs till it comes all the way up. Next, we're going to loosen up this belt tensioner here. One 9/16 bolt head under here. You can use a 9/16 wrench or channel locks or crescent wrench, whatever. And then one Allen head. And that bracket comes out as one piece. Now your lift box belt is sloppy, that's what we want. Work that off and around like so, and then you can lift up on the lower clutch gear. Lift it straight off. Now we have access to the pulley on the lift gearbox. You can see there is a roll pin right through the center and a jam screw holding pressure down on the balls and the springs. We're going to punch that roll pin out first. Now, you can take that jam nut off. Be careful doing this. There is springs underneath this detent plate. The detent plate is the plate that has all the balls on it. The detent plate here. Careful because balls might be actually stuck to it as it comes off, but those fall right out. Now, the pulley pulls right off, and inside there you have your springs. Grab the new detent plate, shoulder down, set it on there, insert your springs, set your balls on the top of the springs, shoulder up on the detent plate, slip that down so it makes pressure contact with the balls. Take your jam nut, thread that on there. Now, see the gap here under this detent plate needs to squish all the way down until that hole lines back up so the roll pin can be pushed back in. Grab the top of this shaft here and visibly look through that hole to get to the right height. Make sure that that is very, very accurate. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time getting that roll pin in there. there should only be a couple pieces of paper gap between this detent plate and the pulley. Again, make sure you get that hole very, very straight, very, very thorough. You may need to hold the top of this shaft to screw this jam nut down. Make sure it's flush on both sides. And then we are ready for reassembly. Lower clutch gear going on. Small V-belt. Keyway, inner clutch gear, snap ring, overriding clutch. Now be very careful with this. Take this and work it in a circular motion until you get it to seat all the way down. Take your Sharpie mark and line it up. Take your 6 5/16 bolts. Tighten those down. Next is your large belt. Next is your bridge. Again, make sure that those pieces, those bearing holders, are facing down, not up. Slide that in as one assembly. You've got your 4 5/16 bolts that hold that bridge down. Tighten those down all the way. Put your clutch arm pin back in. Cotter pin. Make sure you bend that out so it doesn't pop back out. And lastly, your gearbox belt slack adjuster. And there you go. Now you've changed the pulley on your gearbox, your lifting gearbox. Make sure when you put the slack adjuster in, it's not tight yet, but make sure the pulley is on the inside. The idler is on the inside, not the outside, or it will never work. When you do that, pull out on it to put some tension on that V-belt.